Hello, my name is Donagh Berry from Teagasc in Ireland, and I am the Work Package Leader of Work Package 5 in the Horizon 2020 GenTORE project. Work Package 5 is focusing on the development and deployment of genome-based management indexes for farmers. Essentially what this is trying to do is to facilitate farmers in more accurate decision making on farm. So in other words, which bull should they mate to which cow, but also importantly, which animals are most likely to be culling candidates based on the anticipated resilience and efficiency and overall profitability of each of those females for the remainder of their lifetime, which incorporates information both under DNA or genetics, but also under historical performance information. So therefore, the overall objective of Work Package 5 is to develop and deploy easy to use, real-time and dynamic tools at an individual animal level. And what this will do will allow the optimization of both mating programs but also replacement strategies on farms. It will include information on the DNA or the genomic information of the animal, and also how that interacts with the data, not just the historical data, long-term historical data over the past few years of the animal's life, but also the real-time and dynamic data which has been developed in earlier work packages within the GenTORE project. In total, there are 8 partners involved in achieving the objective of Work Package 5 from a whole range of different countries within the EU. So Teagasc from Ireland, Aarhus from Denmark, IDEL from France, Noldus from the Netherlands, Raft from the UK, DLO from the Netherlands, Viking from Denmark, and Alice from France. And these 8 partners will combine not only their expertise but also their data sources from both dairy and beef animals in trying to achieve the objectives set out in Work Package 5. The dilemma that Work Package 5 is trying to answer is actually quite simple. So every individual farmer has a herd of cows, whether he's a dairy farmer or a beef farmer. And the decision that farmer has to make every year is to what cow is likely to be the least efficient, the least resilient, and the least profitable for the remainder of their lifetime. And there is a whole plethora of data, historical data, that underpins each of those animals. So there's much data on, for example, the health of the animal, indicated here by the injection, but also on the reproductive status of that animal. When did it last calve? When is it most likely to calve next year, which is very important from a seasonal calving perspective? Is the animal actually even in calf? And if so, what is the gender of the fetus? From a dairy cow perspective, the milk output of the cow for the past few years, but also the anticipated milk output of the cow for the remainder of its lifetime, taking into account its DNA or its genetic potential, but also the age of the animal. And we know the stage of maturities of animals at different parities. But it's not all just about milk yield as well, of course. The DNA has a large impact on the performance of the animal. So we know, for example, that genetic merit accounts for around 35% of the differences in milk production amongst animals. So every farmer will have all of this data underpinning each of its individual animals. And essentially what the farmer has to do is all the arithmetic in his head. Not just pulling together all these different data sources, but also weighting it differentially based on its expected or anticipated economic importance. So for example, how does an individual farmer weight the milk yield potential of a cow versus is she in calf or not, versus how many mastitis events or lameness events has she had, and thus how many is she anticipated to have. So Work Package 5 is really focusing on collating all these different sources into an algorithm which will essentially rank each of the cows on the individual farmer's farm based on their anticipated economic return. And this is illustrated in this table where we have cow A to F. We're looking at this example, cow C is likely to be the most profitable for the remainder of its lifetime, while cow D, for example, is a very good candidate for culling. So the outcome here is an index which ranks cows based on expected future performance, in this case profitability, so the farmer can make good culling decisions. The second component of Work Package 5 is underbreeding. So again, the farmer is faced with the dilemma of having a herd of cows, but also having a multitude of different bulls that the farmer can use, of a whole multitude of different breeds, each with a different genetic merit. Nowadays, with the advent of low-cost DNA technologies, DNA information is available not only on the individual bulls, but also on the individual cows. So we have a better or more accurate estimate of the genetic merit of each of these animals for a whole range of different traits. But more importantly, we know that genes interact. Commonly this is known as heterosis or hybrid vigor when we talk about at a crossbreeding level, but also is due to epistasis and dominance at a within-breed level. So by knowing the DNA of the females and by knowing the DNA of the candidate bulls, it will allow us to optimize which bulls should be mated to which cows to maximize the chance of getting a genetically superior animal, but also constraining the accumulation of inbreeding in that herd. On top of this, of course, is also the high granularity data which is going to be generated from previous work packages, such as is the cow in strong estrus or is she in weak estrus. So for example, if the cow is in strong estrus, genetically superior as well, then it would be a good strategy to potentially to use a high value sex semen on this animal, as it is likely to conceive. However, if the animal is in weak estrus, in conjunction with potentially low body condition score, there is a greater chance that the cow will not establish pregnancy. And in that scenario, the farmer may be better off using some lower value semen, either from the same breed or from a different breeder, for example. So there are three main deliverables from Work Package 5. One is a web-based tool which allow farmers to input their data, some of which will already be routinely generated, and it will rank the females on the expected lifetime performance and resilience and efficiency, so the farmer can make a decision as to which is his most likely candidate females for culling. From a breeding perspective, again, a web-based, more like mating advice technologies, which will use precision genomic information, but also reproductive management information to decide which is the best bull to use on this particular cow. All of this will be collated into the third main deliverable, which is quantifying the impact of exploiting both the breeding tools, but also the replacement strategy tools developed in Work Package 5, and how that will affect the resilience, efficiency, and overall sustainable profitability of that dairy and beef herd enterprise.